Hey everyone, today we're tackling a Leetcode problem called Count the Number of Good Subarrays. It sounds a bit abstract, but don't worry, we'll break it down together, step by step. Let's figure out what makes a subarray and how to count them efficiently. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so the problem gives us a list of numbers, called guide die, and another number. Our job is to find how many subarrays are. A subarray is just a continuous slice of the original list. Now what makes it? It's good if it contains at least pairs of indices, say and where comes before, and the numbers at those positions are equal. So we're looking for chunks of the array that have enough identical number pairs inside them. The constraints tell us the list can be quite long, up to 100,000 numbers. Let's look at the first example. We have 5 ones, and we need at least 10 pairs, k equals 10. Let's see how many pairs the whole array has. The first pairs with the other 4. The second pairs with the 3 after it. The third pairs with the 2 after it. And the fourth pairs with the last one. That's 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, which equals 10 pairs. Exactly what we need. Any shorter subarray will have fewer than 10 pairs. So only the entire array counts as a good subarray here. That gives us an output of 1. Now for the second example. The numbers are 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, and we need at least 2 pairs, pay equals 2. Let's check some subarrays. Consider 3, 1, 4, 3. Here, the 2 3s make 1 pair. Not enough. How about 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 2? The 3s make a pair, and the 2 2s make another pair. That's 2 pairs total, which is greater than, or equal to, k equals 2. So this is a good subarray. The explanation lists 4 good subarrays. Notice that 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4 is also good. It has pairs for the 3s, the 2s, and the 4s, so 3 pairs total. We just need at least k pairs. So the first idea might be, let's just look at every single possible subarray. For each one, we could count how many pairs of identical numbers it contains. If the count is or more, we increment our answer. But how many subarrays are there? About n squared, where n is the length of the list. And counting pairs inside each could take time too, maybe up to n squared again in the worst case. That sounds like it might be too slow if n is large, maybe something like order n cubed, or order n squared complexity. We probably need a more clever approach. Okay, let's think smarter. Instead of checking each subarray from scratch, maybe we can use a sliding window. Imagine a window over our array, defined by arc and a pointer. We'll keep track of the number of pairs inside this current window. We can slide the pointer to make the window bigger. As we add a new number, we update the pair count. If the window becomes, meaning it has at least pairs, we know we've found at least one good subarray. Then, we can try shrinking the window from the guichivao to find the smallest good subarray starting at that position. How do we efficiently update the pair count as the window slides? We can use a hash map, or a dictionary in Python, to store the frequency of each number currently inside our window. Between and when we slide the pointer and add a new number, say nums, right? Let's look up its current count in our map. Let's say it's already appeared times in the window. Adding this new instance creates new pairs with the previous instances, so we add to our total pair count for the window. Then, we increment the count for nums right in our map. Now, what happens when our window's pair count becomes or more? This window, from 2, is good. And here's a key realization. If this window, left-right, is good, then any window that starts at but extends further to the right must also be good, because it contains all the pairs from left-right. How many such windows are there? Well, there's left-right plus 1, all the way to left, n1. Where is the total length? That's n. Right good subarrays starting at the current, so we add n. Right to our answer. After counting these, we need to shrink the window from the left. We remove nums, left. Before removing it, we decrement its count in the map. Let's say its new count is, removing it breaks pairs, the ones it formed with the remaining instances. So, we subtract from our total pairs count, and then we can finally move the pointer one step to the right. We keep shrinking from the left as long as the window remains good, pairs greater than equals k. Alright, here's the Python code implementing that sliding window logic. It might look a bit dense at first glance, but it directly follows the ideas we just discussed. Expanding the window from the right, calculating pairs, and contracting from the left when the window is good. Let's break down the key parts. So, this first part is the main loop that expands the window. It iterates through the array using the pointer. Inside the loop, for the number at the current position, we first check its current count in our frequency map, counts. That count tells us how many new pairs this number will form when added to the window, so we add that count to our running current_pairs total. After adding to the pairs, we increment the count for this number in our map, reflecting that it's now part of the window. Okay, right after adding the element at right, we enter this while loop. This loop runs only if our window currently has enough pairs, at least k. Inside, we first do the counting. We add n, right to our final answer. Ands, because, as we found out, all subarrays starting at left and ending at right or later are good. Then, we start shrinking the window from the left. We decrement the count of the element at the left pointer in our map. The new count represents the number of pairs that this element was part of before we removed it. So, we subtract this new count from current_pairs. Finally, we slide the left pointer forward. This while loop continues as long as the shrinking window still has at least k pairs. So how efficient is this sliding window approach? Let's think about the pointers. The right pointer moves from the beginning to the end of the array exactly once. The left pointer also moves from the beginning to the end at most once. Since each element is processed by right once and by left once, the total time complexity is linear, which we call big O of n or order n, where n is the length of the input array. That's much better than our initial brute force idea. What about memory? We use a hash map to store the counts of numbers in the current window. In the worst case, if all numbers are distinct, the map could store up to n elements. So the space complexity is also quote 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 quote. Alright, let's quickly recap. We needed to count subarrays, defined by having at least pairs of identical elements. The key idea was to use a sliding window. We efficiently tracked the number of pairs within the window using a frequency map. When we expanded the window by moving the right pointer, we added the new pairs formed. When the window had enough pairs, we added the count of all subarrays starting at the current left pointer, n right, to our answer, and then started shrinking the window from the left, updating the pair count accordingly. This gave us a nice and efficient order n time solution. Hope that explanation helped clarify the problem and the sliding window solution. If you found this useful, please hit that like button, maybe subscribe for more Leetcode breakdowns, and feel free to drop any questions or thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're feeling extra supportive, there's always the Boba Fund link. Thanks for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.